Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to be talking about the latest and penultimate episode of The White Lotus Season 3. This is Episode 7, Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct's not like the rare word game from the 90s. Um, this was interesting. I actually feel a little underwhelmed. I'll get into some of the specific details, but so much tension had been building up where I feel like they left us right on the edge. And maybe this is something that the show's been doing the past two seasons. I'm only watching this new season for now. I will go back and watch the other two once this is over after next week. But man, oh man, yeah, I wanted a little bit more. Just like give me one last hook before this. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we spend a lot of time at Gary's party, and not a lot comes out of that for now. We'll talk about all the details. We'll get into spoilers in just 1 second. So yeah, not my favorite, not the strongest episode, but I think in a series like this, because you have such great episodes, it's hard probably to knock it out of the park every single time when you have great episodes like we had last week. So let's talk about it. Let's get into some of the details. So we see that Rick is finally meeting up with the man he's been searching for. I love the throughout the whole episode. We know that the Muay Thai fights are going on, and Lori was gonna go see them with the girls were gonna go see them with Valentine and his friends. Guy Talk is taking Mook there on their first date. So the Muay Thai fights are very important, and they are. We keep seeing this match intercut between a lot of the scenes that are happening. It's used to differentiate and to kind of like contrast some of the things that are happening to the people, right? We see it contrast with the temple, of course, which is a more peaceful place, and even Guy Talk and Mook talk a little bit about the nature of violence in the sport, and just like yourself versus their beliefs. We also see Saxon and his parents heading over to Gary's for dinner. Parker Posey continues to just deliver some of the best one-liners. She's both the worst and the best person probably in this cast. Uh, Belinda and Sion also debating to go to the party because obviously Belinda has a lot of reservations. She still believes that it was Gary that killed Tanya in a previous season, which I haven't seen. So I feel like there is a little bit of a disconnect for me with not having watched the previous season, not really knowing the full background of this. I think this story would hit a little harder if I was more familiar with, I mean, other than just kind of knowing the end result. So we'll see where that falls. But yeah, not my favorite story. Like I think Gary's party was a little underwhelming. But once again, it is Gary hosting, so like what could I have expected more than that? The girls head to dinner. They are still very much fighting with each other, but like Lori and Jacqueline are just not about it anymore. Um, they just continue to um be very cutting with each other, and then Kate's kind of stuck in the middle. Lori finally tells them off a little bit, like it's probably something she's been holding back for a while. I love Carrie Coon; she delivers a great performance all throughout this episode. But that that dinner scene definitely just great stuff. I really really enjoyed it. We also finally figure out why Gary wanted Belinda to go to the party. He wants to offer Belinda some money that I think Tanya might have promised in the previous season. And maybe this is his way also to kind of keep her quiet about a lot of this stuff. So it's interesting to see what Belinda's going to do with that knowledge. I'll finish out their story. Zion and Belinda definitely do talk about that. What she should do, but she leaves after the party. So uh, we also finally have Rick confronting this man, and I've seen this actor before. He was in Daredevil when it was on Netflix. He played the part of Stick, so definitely somebody that I'm. So yeah, they finally kind of start talking about it. Um, we also then see that Lori does meet up with the guys over at the fights, and Guy Talk's also there. Guy Talk and Mook finally have their first date. They go have dinner, where this is kind of where they could talk a little bit about the nature of violence, and Mook keeps pushing Guy Talk forward to try to, uh, I don't know, maybe better his life. I think she really cares for him, but I don't know that they're good match romantically. Unfortunately, Guy Talk, my boy needs he needs a pep talk, and I think Mook's trying to help it. But while they are at the fight, Guy Talk figures out that it was Valentine's friends, Alexei and I forget the other guy's name, who did the break in. So that was, which to me sounds that like Valentine was in on it as well, because he was at the gate on his bike ride. That's the reason the gate was up, and they were able to, they kind of used Guy Talk as a patsy to let them in. I don't think their plan was to hurt him, but that's what ended up happening, as they were trying to get out of there. But yeah, Guy Talk recognizes one of the guys, and then we later on confirmed that it was Alexei that was there as well. Piper and Lachlan are at the temple. And Lachlan, Piper goes to Lachlan's room. We saw a moment earlier where they have dinner as well. But that I didn't really get much out of that. I don't know. Piper and Lachlan, like, feels like they are also just wanted to. I don't think they were ever gonna do anything too crazy like what happened with Saxon and Lachlan. But they were definitely hinting at it, like it could happen, right? There's This family's just very, very weird. But Lachlan says that he wants to come to the temple with Piper, and I feel like she's not up for that. She doesn't shoot him down, but she definitely doesn't seem enthused by the idea. I feel like Piper really wanted to move to Thailand, or to live in Thailand, to escape from everyone, including her brother. Chloe finally tells Saxon at the party with Chelsea. She's also there, that Gary wants to watch, which is wild. And then Gary, this is a great performance by, I don't know the name of the actor, but he's just kind of sitting there on a chair in the background, like looking at them in like the weirdest, creepiest way. But yeah, it was a very weird conversation. Um, and we finally get some closure with Rick. He confronts Scoglin's character, and he pulls out the gun. He doesn't kill him, which is interesting, because obviously this episode is called Killer Instincts. But I don't think that Rick ever had it in him, or even if that was, I don't think that was anything that he even wanted to do. It just maybe felt like the obligation to get some closure here. But he does flip the chair over on him, which is really funny. Um, and then Rick and Frank go partying. I forget to mention that Frank did break his sobriety in this episode earlier, because I mean Rick put him in a very tough spot with having to lie, and trying to figure out how to pretend to be this movie director. Um, Finally, Chelsea and Saxon leave the party, and they go back, and I they also are very coy with these two. They make it seem like maybe Chelsea's a little disappointed in Rick, because he's kind of left her behind, and maybe something could happen with Saxon, but definitely not. They just meditate for a little bit, and then Saxon also gets kind of shut down. So nobody closes the deal on this episode, except Lori, who does hook up with Alexei, and then Alexei tries to like scam some money out of Lori. Like, he talks about needing to get his mother out of Russia, but his girlfriend then ambushes them, which is when we are confirmed that he's part of the one that we find the jewels that were stolen from the store in the hotel. So, and then lastly, we close out with Tim looking for the gun, as he kind of fantasizes once again, just killing his family. Because in this episode, Saxon told him, like, look, without my career, I am nothing. My career is tied to you and your success. So if you're not successful, I am nothing. So, like, all his family has kind of told him, like, I don't know, nobody wants to go back to their normal life, it feels like. So that's going to be interesting. We do get some stuff in the preview, but I won't really go into it. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. I just want to let's just enjoy it next week. But there you have it. That's the end of this episode for now. We get to see the performers that are Belinda and Gary in the after show, in the making of this episode. So yeah, they give a little bit more. They give a little bit more information about how their characters are approaching everything. But like I said, unfortunately, because I haven't seen the other White Lotus, like that story was the one that kind of keeps falling flat for me. So but there you go. Let me know, what did you think of the White Lotus season 3, episode 7. Let me know what your predictions are for the finale, and of course, stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.